Hi friends, it's Brandon, and today I'll be your navigator as you learn about the friendship between Saul, Jonathan, and David. Friends, this story is one of my favorites. It highlights a deep, loving friendship between two men, David and Jonathan. Saul was the king of Israel, and Jonathan was Saul's son. David was Jonathan's best friend. They had a real bond, so much so that Saul basically adopted David into the royal family. But the story isn't that simple. In the biblical world, kingdoms were passed down in families. Because Saul was king, the next person in line to be king was Jonathan. However, the scriptures teach us that a prophet named Samuel had anointed David to be king instead. Imagine the pain David must have felt knowing that he loved both Saul and Jonathan, but God's plan for him meant that he would take the throne from Jonathan. In spite of the unavoidable conflict, David offered kindness and friendship to Saul and Jonathan. He loved them and cared for them deeply, and they also cared for him. In my teenage years, one of my most meaningful, intimate friendships was with a guy named Walt. We were quite an unlikely pairing. He was an all-star athlete, and I was a theater nerd, and I wasn't at all into sports. Walt and I hung out together all the time. We had each other's backs and were incredibly loyal to one another. Regardless of what went down in school or anywhere else, I knew that Walt had my back, and he knew that I had his. After a while, it was like we were a part of the same family. When I went to Walt's house, his dad and sister welcomed me with open arms and treated me like I was a member of the family. When Walt came to my home, my parents welcomed him with open arms and treated him like he was their son. Looking back, I was really grateful for Walt's friendship and his loyalty. Teenage years can be difficult, so I'm glad I had someone to trust and someone who trusted me. Okay, it's your turn to dive in, friends. Do you have a really close friend? Maybe one that's more like a sibling. What do you appreciate about your relationship with this person? How do you build trust and care with friends? What makes a friend trustworthy and supportive?